Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes. So join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Pioneers Academy podcast. I'm April, and today's conversation is one that could really shift how you grow your business, creating irresistible first offers. Most business owners are working hard to get attention, but what if your first offer could do more of the heavy lifting and bring the right people straight to you? So, Bimal Shah is here with us today to unpack exactly how that works. Bimal, welcome to our episode today.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the most important foundations of the business in sales, which is the irresistible first offer, because the first offer is what gets everything started. And, a compelling, irresistible offer beats a convincing argument all the time. So, structuring that first offer is key. And so excited to talk about that topic today.
So am I, Bimal. I am very excited to learn and explore more things about this episode today. So let's get into it, Bimal. Um, I would like to ask you, what, in your view, truly makes a first offer irresistible today, especially with so many businesses competing for attention?
So think about, I would like to, put a perspective for everyone to help them better understand why to make it irresistible and what defines irresistible. And, discount or coupons, or those are standard offers, and those are not irresistible offers because that still requires someone, to do something, make a decision to do something. An irresistible first offer comes with no strings attached. So think about, if a mice were to come for a piece of cheese, so if you had a mice and you wanted to grab a piece of cheese and you had a trap attached to it, the mice may come, get once and or go away and smell it, or and may never come back again. But if you had the cheese just by itself and there was no trap attached to it, and the mice could get the cheese and just go away, and then next day you put the same cheese, the mice comes back and takes it away again. Now the mice has become your friend, and you can even pet him. So this is, making the irresistible first offer needs to be so easy, so casual, and it needs to be to a point where the customer doesn't need to think about it, but it solves one of three main things for the customer who's looking at, or the prospect who's looking at the irresistible first offer. It solves their biggest pain. It allows them to get the biggest gain, and builds the biggest curiosity. So one of those three elements, and if you structure your irresistible first offer around that with no strings attached, you can actually build your funnel, and you're not going to build a lead list that you can educate and motivate to convert into sales. So that is one of the key foundation of, an irresistible means that there's no resistance from required from the prospect. There is no decision making required. It's an easy thing for them to do. Like, for example, you develop a landing page, you give your name and number, and you get a download to a free guide, or you get a free book, or you get a free training, or you get, there's so many different types of things that you can get a free workshop. So so something that doesn't require them to make a decision, and it's an easy thing, free scorecard, free analysis. So this is something that gives them the first thing and lays the foundation for all the next steps.
That's a great way to frame it, Bimal.
Thank
There's something really powerful about getting straight to the point and showing someone what they gain right away. Like it makes everything else feel easier, just like what you mentioned, and make an example with just like the mice and the cheese. So thank you for that. And all right, once you start shaping your offer, how do you make sure it's based on what your customer wants rather than what we assume they need?
So this is one of the biggest mistakes, business owners make is they think they know what the customer needs and they have an idea and they try to build around the whole, marketing around it. And if you see that there are companies who have spent billions in dollars of research and, surveys and focus group and just trying to understand, what the consumer really wants and then develop and shape up, their offers and their marketing around it. So this is where you need to think, now I understand, as small or any other business owner or entrepreneur listening to this, they don't have that budget to spend or, research to do. So how do you do it, when you're on a shoestring budget and figure out what the customer needs? And it's a simple thing. So, first of all, you need to think about who your ideal prospect is. So, give your ideal prospect a name like Jerry or James or Gary, whatever. And then write a 1 page or a half-page essay on who is Gary, who is Jerry. And then once you identify, you need to have a list of those Jerrys. And we built, we on the show notes below, you can click the link. It will even ask you the questions on things and how to start building your ideal profile and also get a list of your ideal 5-star prospects. And once you have that list, now the next step is to get into their heads, meaning that now you have to think like them. And then you have to see, okay, if you were standing in a Starbucks line and then, Gary or James or Jerry was right in front of you and you were an observer of the two of you, what kind of conversations would you have? So, what kind of conversation would James have? So you think about, also, even if you didn't visualize that, even if you simply visualize your prospect and just think about the conversations they're having in their head regarding what you do or related to your product or service or related to, what's the first thing they think about? And I'll give you an example. So for example, if somebody is thinking about, let's say, you're thinking about marketing. So many times, when somebody's thinking about marketing, the first conversation, many times most entrepreneurs or many things, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what works. People don't know really, what's going to work and what's not going to work. And they don't have the time to, spend money in experimentation over and over again. And they've heard so many different things and everyone, blames the other. So they are lost. And so they need some practical step that tells them what's going to work and what's not going to work. So I've created a scorecard, a marketing scorecard that says score your current marketing and score your even wherever whoever you're trying to go with, and you can score that marketing game plan, and then that score will be based on your goals. So now you have a score to see what phase of that marketing is going to work and what is not going to work, and that way it gives you clear direction and clear path. So that is kind of like understanding the conversation that someone is having in their head about your ideal prospects. So visualize your prospect and think about the conversation they're having in their heads, and then form your first offer.
That's such a practical way to think about it, Bimal. It's like assessing and observing before building, really, that will change how effective the outcome is. And yeah, it's easy to overlook that step because usually um, business owners or entrepreneurs don't know that this is usually where the gold is. Some of us will just override on it. So thank you.
You just said such an important thing and such a powerful thing that most business owners are stepping over gold coins and silver coins and bronze coins to pick up steel coins. So they are literally going over
Yeah.
and skipping. the goal that's right in front of them. They're not taking that additional step. Someone thinks, okay, if I give a free coupon, I'll attract the customers. If I give this, all I need to do is this. So if you see in the mailbox, if you see in the ads, or so you're 20% off, 30% off, 50% off. So now, if they don't have the money right now, they will wait for the next 20%, 30%, or 50%. So you're not getting them excited enough to be in your funnel. So, that's why you need to get into their heads and get into their conversation as to what they're really thinking about, and then give something of value that they realize what your true value is. And then you never have to give a discount. You don't want to build your business on discounts. It's like stripping away. So, you want to build your business on core foundations, on the value that you deliver, and customer to recognize the value that you have and pay for it. So the customer is going to pay for it when they recognize the value. But how do you deliver that value? Give something of value first, so that they understand the value you bring to the table, and then they want more, and then never looking at the price.
Exactly, Vimal. I agree with that. Thank you. So, can you walk us through the actual steps you take when you create an irresistible first offer from scratch?
So the very first thing, most important step is knowing your ideal prospect. So you have 5-star prospects. So the first and most important, are they friendly and cooperative? And then who they are, what they want, when they want it, and how they want it. So these are like 5 key steps. They're willing to engage in a dialogue, they're friendly and cooperative, they know what they want, they know when they want it, and they would like you to help them. So once you go through these 5 stages and you define the ideal prospects, then you go into the frame of mind that let me have a conversation. In your own mind, you're having this conversation with your prospect, and that prospect is having that conversation with you, and that prospect is sharing kind of what's in their mind, what's in their head, what's the first thought that comes to their mind when it relates to a specific topic. So right now, for example, let's say law, when it comes to a specific type of lawyers or laws, they're looking for some guidance. And everybody, many, you've seen many lawyers offer a free consultation or a consultation, and not everybody is looking to get a free consultation, they're just looking to get some clear answers. Okay, so if you were to offer a clear path and clear guidance or clear answer, even with the downloadable ebook that could answer their questions regarding specific type of cases or situations they get involved in, they may be willing to download that, and it will put you in a much better recognition and an upper level credibility than many others, and they will come back to you because you're the one who guided them and what's right and what's wrong and what to do and what not to do and things like that. So so those are some of the key things. Those are the first 2 steps, and the third step is framing that offer and where to place it. So now you have to be omnipresent. So one of the things as a company what we do, so when you go on the marketing scorecard on the show notes and the links below, what we do is omnipresence direct response marketing. So omnipresence direct response marketing is like you're present wherever your prospect is present. So whichever website they go to, whichever click they go to, wherever they visit, whatever places they go to, whatever physical places they go to, or restaurants or things like that, your ads will be present wherever they are. And then once they're in your funnel, they get constant, updates and things like that, and education. And then you have a ready to go, offer, first offer in every email. So whenever they're ready to take that step, they become your client. So that is kind of the 3 stages, that we look at. Okay, first is, identify your 5-star prospect, build a list, and then place the message with the first offer.
And I really like how that approach breaks it down well. You break it into a manageable pieces. Like it's easy to get overwhelmed by the idea of creating an offer, but that structure gives some clarity to our listeners today. Like, you have to know your prospect, you have to build a list, and you have to frame a place that um, list for your prospects. So thank you for that. And now, there are so many mistakes people make. So, what are some of the common missteps that you've seen people take when they try to create or promote their first offer?
So when they're trying to create this first offer, the very first common mistake I've seen is, discounting your value. That is not how you want to attract someone. So let's take a restaurant for an example. If you offer a coupon to, for someone to come to your restaurant, rather you offer a gift card. Why offer a coupon? Just, if you want someone, and if you, and then one of the things for restaurant, instead of offering just a gift card, you offer a birthday gift card. What we do is we help build business owners list of upcoming birthdays within 2 to 5 mile radius of your restaurant. So people who are within nearby your restaurant, their birthdays, and these are people who are not in your system, who are not in your regular database. These are people outside your database. So you make new customers and you offer them, and nobody comes and spends the value. They spend a lot more than the value of the gift card, because nobody celebrates their birthday alone. They always celebrate it with friends or family. So you're always going to get 5 times the value of the gift card spent on that day when someone tries to redeem their birthday gift card. And it's a simple call or simple reach. Hey, you have a birthday gift card. Would you like to celebrate your birthday with us? Would you like us to reserve a table for you? Simple thing like that. So this is something that, when I see that, instead of discount, offer a gift card. The second most common mistake I've seen is making it too complex. Your message needs to be point blank, very simple, and the offer needs to be very clear, what you're offering, and it needs to solve a specific pain or a problem. If your offer does not solve a specific pain or problem, then you're not the offer will not be taken. It's not irresistible. So for example, let's say get a 200 square feet of your carpet, or the most dirtiest place in your home, the 100 square feet of your most dirtiest, clean for free. No questions asked, no strings attached. Give us a call. So now that carpet cleaner goes to the place and says, I cleaned the dirtiest area, 100 square feet of your home, um, you know, at no cost to you. Would you like me to take care of the rest of your home? And the homeowner, while the person is there, yeah, might as well. So now almost got the entire, and while I'm here, would you like to schedule your regular routine? Because if you don't just do it once, it becomes dirty again, and they require maintenance, and you need to do it monthly or whatever the schedule is. Now you got in a full subscription out of that home from just offering that 100 square feet of carpet. So the irresistible offer, first offer, needs to be done in such a simple way that the customer doesn't need to think about it. It's a no-brainer for anyone who's thinking. Like when we do, when we offer a 90-day blueprint workshop. You get a blueprint for the achieving a 3-year goal in 1 year, and you get a full blueprint on what to do in the next first 90 days once I leave the room. So you have a complete plan for the next 90 days, step by step. Now, who would say no to that? So that is something that you would offer. So this is a great way to build, the irresistible first offer.
Well, and I think that we've all either done that or seen it happen. I can relate to that. And trying to do too much too soon or not really knowing who the offer is for, it's an easy trap to fall into. So everyone can relate to this episode, I guess. So once that first offer is out there, Bimal, how do you test it and make improvements over time so it gets stronger?
And that's where you look at how many improvements you're having, how many customers you're having, how many customer base you're grabbing, and is it consistent? And if there is consistency, it works like clockwork, and you can keep using it, and you just do more of it. And then, if there is inconsistency, it needs improvement. So this is where when you have the list, you can say, okay, how many accepted the offer, how many turned into sales, how many clicks, how many CTRs, all those measures, you need to look at on an ongoing basis and say this offer got this and which place is getting the most. So, I have one law firm where, they were spending 83 of 83% of their money on something that they were not getting any return, and almost 17% of their direct mail that which was going was generating almost 95% of their business. I said, the other 83%, which was almost $133,000 that they were spending, didn't need to be spent because it wasn't generating any sales. So they said the 17% that is generating, you just do more of it. You would do 1/3 of that 133,000 and triple your business. And you wouldn't need to do anything more. They didn't knew that because they were not tracking their numbers. They were not tracking. They had no metrics in place as to where the money and what's converting into money, what's converting into sales, where is the customers coming from, where, because so that is key. Many business simple questions. How did you hear about us? This is a simple question that business owners, as simple as it sounds, sometimes they miss asking that, or many a times they don't ask because they're anxious to get a customer. They're hungry. When a customer comes, they want to do everything else, but ask that simple question: how'd you hear us? How'd you find us? Where'd you how'd you get to know about us? All those simple things. Yeah. So it's very simple. It's just sometimes we overlook it or we make it complicated.
That's a good reminder, Bimal, that we have to monitor and to keep observing still, because like launching that very first offer, that irresistible offer, isn't the end. Like it's just the beginning. So there's always something to learn from how people respond to that offer of yours. So thank you for highlighting those, reminding our listeners out there. And now you've got a full set of tools and books behind these strategies. And if someone new to your work, where do you suggest they begin?
So for all the listeners today, I'm giving $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all my books on Amazon. So the link is bit.ly Pioneer Book Gift Card. It's on the show notes below. So be sure to get that link. You'll be able to, get that $100, no strings attached, just like what I practice, what I preach. So there's no strings. You get the gift card, you use it, and if you like it, you come back to me. So, and in the 13 book series, a lot of the books talk about aspects of marketing in each book, some aspects. But book number 4, book number 6, and book number 9, have some deeper dives, and book number 2 have deeper dives into the aspects of the irresistible first offers.
Awesome, Bimal. And having those tools ready to go makes it easier to take action. And with that $100 Amazon gift card is very cool, because I love that extra encouragement for the people to take that very first step. And sometimes it's a little nudge that makes all the difference. So thank you so much for your kindness, Bimal, to our listeners today. So everything that has mentioned will be on the show notes, right, Bimal?
Yep, everything will be in the show notes, and take advantage of those tools, resources, scorecards, gift cards. You see everything. So you can see even plenty of different ways of, developing the irresistible first offers when you go through some of the tools that I've developed. And those are at no cost to you. So you can see how you can develop your own and make yourself a pioneer. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.